Hi, I'm Shawn Grover. I'm the current president of the COSSFest Foundation, or the Calgary Open Source Systems Foundation. COSSFest is a gathering of like-minded individuals to talk about open source software and how it can help us in community, in our everyday life, and in business. This year, COSSFest had two speaking tracks. Started off with Marcel Gagné, author and blogger at large, talking about seeding the clouds.
Let's say you want to run something for a couple of days. You need a machine for a couple of days. This is a hell of a lot cheaper going through the Amazon Web Services, a hell of a lot cheaper than contacting your local ISP and having them deploy a new machine for you and paying for a one-year contract.
Following that, we had Richard Staub, a local Calgary lawyer.
And if there are 3 sets of licenses, and it's sort of pick your own license, the whole thing may fall apart.
He talked about Canadian IP law and how it affects open source. Bruce Byfeld decided to tackle the issue of sexism in FOSS.
This is a proprietary software, respectable. Now, this is free software, and you notice there's quite a difference there.
Aaron Seigel, well-known KDE developer, on how to develop on the KDE desktop using JavaScript and a tool called Plasmate.
This is plugin based, so you can also write your own plugins. You can write plugins in JavaScript for this too.
Richard Wiett came out. His project was OpenStreetMap 0 to 60 in 40 minutes.
OpenStreetMap allows you to have the data if you care about the data. These other applications only let you see a picture of the data.
We had David Crosby from Userful. His presentation was how to be FOSSFilm.
With little to no technical experience. We've got a lot of coders, and there are things that coders cannot/should not do.
And then we had a very specialized conversation with Stefan Steinger.
What is an SDI? So what is a spatial data infrastructure? What are the software requirements for it?
Then we had Joshua Schroeder. His presentation was command line Drupal, drush.
Just a lot easier to type in drush clear cache than it is to navigate through 4 or 5 pages to click on the cache clear button in Drupal's web interface.
Adam McDaniel. His presentation was managing source code with Git.
This is Ubuntu's branch of what their interpretation of the kernel looks like.
Yeah, when Honey's done, Rock Band.
We had a party.
They've sold you this console. They've said, here's this really cool thing. But now they've broken it.
I'm willing to trash Sony and any company that doesn't act with a conscience regarding the public.
To find a place where you can do open-ended R&D is almost impossible, even in academia.
Oh, especially in academia. It's so competitive.
Only now has one company come out with one product, the iPhone and the iPad, that does this.
Yeah.
Right? But we've been doing it for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
This is open-ended R&D.
The goal was if we hit a certain mark, we didn't have to pay the bartenders' wages.
If we bought enough booze?
We hit high score, we got to that point.
And then they kicked you out.
15 minutes later, they kicked us out. Day 2 was rough because some of us didn't get home until 4:30 in the morning. David Crosby started off with a world of 100% FOSS, we're doomed, where he explored the downsides of if we went to 100% open source right now.
Microsoft presents. The UN decides to ban closed source software.
We had Bruce Byfeld doing another presentation for us, and he did OpenOffice versus MS Office.
Writer is actually more like FrameMaker, which is a professional tool for doing manuals and desktop layout suitable for books.
After lunch, track 2 switched over to a workshop, Bleeps, Sweeps, and Creeps, audio mixing with open source.
There we go. The actual distro is 64 Studio.
From Richard Wiett, we had hardware hacks for wireless routers.
One of the first things I really enjoyed about OpenWRT is the welcome screen when you log in. That's just about the friendliest console message I've seen.
And then Brad Renderman Haynes did a presentation, physical security. You trust your security to what?
All your hard work here in the data center can get undermined by a trip to Home Depot. Many times picking is pretty much instantaneous.
The panel topic was the death of the desktop.
And he'd sneer and it would send a chill out your spine like cold oatmeal.
Is he always like this?
Yes.
Even with just any sort of customer service situation. If I'm dealing with somebody who's fixing my car, I don't want to deal with somebody on the phone, 1,000 miles away. If somebody does something stupid, I want to be able to punch them.
We also had Protospace out.
Spy schools, planets, and starships. Women who I've never met whose names start with C. Characters in the William Gibson universe. Locations in Tolkien's Silmarillion.
So we're sitting in Protospace offices right now. And then we wrapped up.
If you really think this is awesome, but you realize this is just a taste of it, come help these guys out. Because you can help take what we had here and turn it into something that next year is 10 times as cool. But they need your help, yeah?
COSSFest 2010 is officially wrapped up.